Hello, everybody. Jim Malone here, coming to you live on Dallas Trading Floor. It's Thursday, and the market is pulled back a little bit. It seems like oil's higher though, which is good, and it looks as if we may be in for a bounce. Kind of hard to say what's going to happen. I did put out a little video this afternoon on why I was entering a position in Exxon Mobil. Very small position, just a half position in one of my portfolios. So not a tremendously large position there at all. Let's take a look at the spider at the S&P. We are down, unfortunately, today. There's been I definitely think it's again, the market is just kind of skittish all the way around. It's really tough to say exactly what's happening, but what happened is it came right up to the we came right up to the 21-day moving average, and we were rejected at the 3,800 level. Of course, this is the actual S&P here, not the spider. Let's move on over to the spider because that's probably going to give us a little bit better viewpoint. Of course, the spider is the world's largest ETF, and it covers the all the stocks weighted in the S&P 500. So, what happened on the spider, of course, is that similar kind of thing. We're backing down. We're down about 1% on the spider, and we're off after hours as well. So, definitely seeing that. There's definitely a resistance at 380. We did come all the way down. This is what's so interesting about looking at the spider. We came all the way down to the consolidation, which is right below 360 on the spider. It's about 358 on the spider, and we bounced, and that's very interesting. And again, we came up right up to the 21-day line. So this is kind of the range that it's been trading in, the spider, and it's definitely interesting. Now, what I wanted to do is that the yield on the benchmark 10-year Treasury did go up today to 3.82, and this is significant because this is making all the mortgages higher. Most of the 30-year fixed mortgages now are above 6.5%. They're around 6.5 to 7%. So typically, this is going to probably impact very significantly the home builder market. And I suspect that a lot of people that have contracted for houses during this time are probably not going to be able to qualify. So watch out for certain stocks. Lennar is one of them, DR Horton. These stocks may have difficulty in this market because the fact that people that qualified when they went under contract for the houses now can't qualify because of the interest rates. But I don't think that the Fed is going to lay off the gas. I think they're going to go higher. They have to kill inflation, and so what's happening, I think, is we're going to see we're going to see oil prices go higher because oil equals inflation. Basically, it's in everything. And the problem that we're having really I believe in the market is what a lot of people aren't telling you, and that is there's a diesel shortage, and that's affecting everything in the supply chain. So be very careful there. Also, the price of crude, West Texas Intermediate, basically moved up to about 89. I think it's probably going to go higher because OPEC had a deal with the Russians, and that is going to constrain the supply. So look for a very bleak winter in Europe. I think it's going to be very tough for them, but I do think that we're going to see a spike in oil prices. I mean, I think it could go as much high as 120. But again, I don't definitely have a crystal ball on this. Also, the initial jobless claims went up, and part of the reason I believe they are is because of inflation. I mean, there's just a lot of sectors that are very inflation resistant, very inflation oriented. For instance, the restaurant sector. If you have restaurants, prices are going up, you're going to see some jobless claims, and that's just the way it is. So I do think with all that bad news, you would think, well, gosh, Jim, you should be you should be a pessimist. Well, I know, and this is very strange, but I really believe that we're in a situation where we may have bottomed because everyone else is so everybody else right now is so pessimistic that I think that, we may be in a situation where, we can see some change. And that's kind of what I'm looking at. And part of the reason I'm looking at that, let's put this up for everyone on TikTok, is that this is a thing called the bears and bulls. And basically, this chart goes out and looks at all of the financial writers and seeing kind of what, if they're bearish or they're bullish. Interestingly enough, this is a contrarian indicator, and this indicator indicates that when the bulls are in the minority and the bears are in the majority, many times this is the bottom of the market. This is where it bounces. Now, obviously, the long-term trend of the market is downward, but I do believe that we're in a little bit of a we're in a little bit of an uptrend here, potentially in the market. So, contrary to popular belief, I think we are going to see a little bit of strengthening in terms of the market. I wouldn't be jumping into anything in the Nasdaq or any technology stock right now. That's for sure. But I would be strong in the oils and the inflation dependent areas of the market. So that's kind of where I'm seeing it. So basically, when the percentage of bears crosses above the bulls, that's where a bottom is more likely, and you can definitely see that is what's the case here. The bears are the green line, the bulls are the red, and so that's kind of what is going on. So very interesting in terms of that. In terms of that look, and so that's why I am getting, actually, believe it or not, I am actually getting more. I'm getting more bullish. It's very odd, but I'm getting more bullish, and that's kind of the thing. I did buy an interesting stock today. It's the only medical stock that I have right now, and that is a company called Shockwave. And Shockwave, so you can see the chart here for everyone on TikTok. Shockwave is an interesting stock. The reason I bought it, of course, is it moved down to it bounced at the 50-day moving average. And so hopefully that's right. It was off today, but hopefully I'm right on this one. It's got a 96 composite rating, which is very, very good. That makes it in the top 4% of all stocks out there. So that's looking pretty darn good. And I think that, this is a pullback to the 21-day line on light volume. I think we may see a bounce here. Well, who knows? Very, very small position. I'm only in it basically an eighth of a position. So not even, I'm sorry, in a quarter of a position. I have a quarter of a full position. So very, very, very small in terms of that. I also wanted to show you the Exxon that I did buy today. Exxon I bought basically at about 101. I think it was a little bit below. Yeah, a little bit below 100 is where we bought it. We're about 99 and change. It's up today. 102 is kind of where it was at the midday. This has a composite rating of 98, which is put us in the top 2%. This is the one I do think that is possibly, I think it likely to pull back tomorrow a little bit, but it's looking pretty strong, I think, in terms of where it's going. So hopefully we can see that move higher. Here's my current market exposure. And what I mean by this, of course, is the market exposure being how much I'm in the market, how much I'm out of the market. I'm pretty much out of the market right now, as you can see. Almost a little over 75% here is in cash, and I do have four positions. Basically, one in Sinclair Oil. That's Dino, D-I-N-O. I'm also in Cheniere Energy. This is LNG. Is the symbol there, and also I'm in Exxon Mobil, XOM, and then of course we talked about Shockwave. So those are the four that I have. If we show some more strength, I will probably be adding to those positions as well. So kind of gives you an overview of sort of what's going on in terms of in terms of the market. So thank you very much. Let's get to some of the questions and get to some of the questions. So hopefully we can deal in this tough market. Charles, you're always first up. That's always great. All of the NASDAQ 100 stocks were up only 6 times in the last 20 years. I never in a bear rally. Could this be good news? I think it is actually. I know this is very contrarian, and that's why I was showing the chart for the. So let's look at the QQQ. That's just the Nasdaq 100 ETF, and I'm going to put up the Qs here, and let's take a look at them. You're right. I mean, it was. I mean, what I'm saying is, I do think that we potentially, it's extremely hard to call bottoms. It's extremely hard to call bottoms, but that's one of the reasons why I've started to move into the market a little bit, very carefully. I mean, it's not a whole lot. The reason I'm starting to move into the market is because the bulls and bears are telling us there may be a bounce. This is also interesting, the fact that they're all up today. This may be a bounce. So we're starting to see, at least in the near term, we're starting to see a potential, maybe a potential floor. So who knows what's going to go on? Again, I'm trying to go very small with the size. I'm only trading one portfolio right now. I trade several, and I'm only really trading one. But I think you may be on something really big, because I do think that it's likely that we may be at a situation where we're starting to see a bottom. I know that's a very strange thing, but I think we may be starting to see at least a bottom for the time being. Now, long term, I still think we're in a downward trend, but at least for the time being, I think many of the stocks have lost so much of their value that I think that you may be really onto something here. So I think that's a real interesting thing to say. But again, I would be extremely careful in terms of your exposure. It's just tough to go. All right, let's take a question from TikTok. Thank you very much. A question on Tesla. Unfortunately, um, I wish that Tesla. I wish I had better news for you on Tesla. I really, I really believe I really wish that I had better news for you on Tesla. Right now, I just don't think it's the time for Tesla. And um, so for TikTok, let's answer the question here. All right, so this question is coming from TikTok, and it's basically on Tesla. So let's move over to the Tesla chart and look at it. TSLA, of course, is the symbol for Tesla. And there we go. And um, here's the problem I'm seeing with Tesla, of course, uh, is that we had another down day today. We're even though the volume is going down, we had another down day for Tesla, and it's a dagger. So basically, I mean, the candle is pointing downwards. So we're closing at the low. We're not closing quite at the low of the day, but we're closing lower on the day. So I just think that Tesla has just got to consolidate here, and it may be a long time for Tesla. I mean, we could be another, I mean, we could be 5 years literally, because sometimes a stock doesn't consolidate. It takes a long time to consolidate. I remember in 2017, I started buying Microsoft, but I hadn't bought since 2000, basically 1999. It hadn't gotten back to where it had gone. So even a great stock like Microsoft could take many years to come back. I'm not saying that's necessarily the case for Tesla, but it definitely seems to be it seems to be kind of in a consolidation. I think we just gotta, hold our brows and go from there. So again, Tesla, I think you're going to be waiting some time. I wouldn't be jumping in on Tesla. I just wouldn't be jumping in on Tesla. Christine is taking a look at Oxy, and this is a stock that I do like a lot. Of course, Warren Buffett has been accumulating this stock pretty ravenously going forward. But this is a good stock, and $70 a share. It's in the buy zone. Let's see if we can. Uh, what I'm going to do here. Oops. What I'm going to do is deal with. I'm going to take off the annotation. We look at the stochastics on this one, and also I'm going to remove some of the comments that I made. There we go. All right. Okay. So on the stochastics, we definitely have a strong we definitely have some strong buying activity. There's lots of blue here, not quite up above the average, but looking very, very good. One thing I would be concerned about here at this level, buying at this level, I think it's a little extended because it has this very nice cup, and then this is the handle, and it's moved up very nice off the handle, but we're above the pivot. So this is a tough one here. It's got a 100% checklist. Oxy has a 100% checklist, and uh, the uh, the ownership is improving. So we have lots of funds that are still coming into this. Fidelity Contra Fund, which is one of the best funds out there, is in it as well. So this is one that we do follow here. So the market looks very good. The only my only concern here is on the technicals. We are 9% above the 21-day line. I like to buy within 5% of that. So this is a little extended here. I would wait for a little bit of a pullback. I don't know if this is going to allow us a pullback, to be honest with you, but I would be a little bit leery here. If you do buy it at this level and it's got a 99 relative strength, try a smaller position. Try a smaller position. We are above the pivot. The pivot on this cup with handle, stage 2 cup with handle, is at 66.16. So at 70.50, we are a little bit above that. So be forewarned that we possibly have a situation where we have where it's extended. So I would be careful with this one. I think you still can buy, but I would just be careful. Oxy is slightly extended. And that's it's always difficult to tell, but Oxy is slightly extended, so I think you got to be a little bit careful coming in on this one. But excellent stock. I definitely think that you're looking in the right neck of the woods. I definitely think you are. And we talked about Tesla, so let's take another one here from Charles. Um, in my opinion, a cheap XOM. Maybe. Yeah, this is one of the reasons I went for XOM, only because not because I'm so in love with Exxon Mobil, but because it's such a large stock, and we're in essentially a rising market for oil. You know, I kind of took the wimpy way out and bought Exxon. I didn't, I agree with you. I think Oxy is a great company. But here's the company I want to show you that I don't own. And the problem is I already have enough oil stocks, but this is what I want to show you. It's Hess. I don't know if you've probably heard about this company. It's very big in New York, and it is right in the buy zone. So this is one I think you could consider here. Again, very strong relative strength, 97, coming off a cup with handle. Many of these charts are very, very similar, just by the nature of the beast, because I mean, they're basically selling the same commodity, and that is, fuel. So it's a good commodity, but that's why the charts are very similar. This is one I think you could consider as well. It's Hess. It is in the international refiners space, which I think is very, very good. Not quite as strong a checklist as Exxon Mobil. Exxon Mobil, of course, has a 100% checklist. This one only an 89, but still extremely good. And if we look at the and if we look at the if we look at the fundamentals, let's take a look at the fundamentals on Hess here. Let's see if we can. Yeah, there we go. There we go. So here are the fundamentals on Hess. As you can see, in the last quarter, it's just been tremendous. Sales up 87% in the last quarter. That was in June. 24 before that, 59, 50, 54. Just very, very strong. 796% increase in profits. So they're printing money right now. P/E ratio, a little bit high at 28, but still pretty good. Return on equity, 12%. That's excellent. Cash flow is excellent. And if we look at their potential for next year, they're showing potentially they're going to be up 30% in terms of profit. So I think that this is a good one. I really think that the expectations are very, very good for Hess, at least going forward. That's HES is the symbol on that one. So not a bad one to look at either. So if you're trying to build a watch list, this might be a good one to possibly take a look at. All right, let's look. Can you look at Tilroy? I don't think you're going to be very. I don't think you're going to be very uh, satisfied with Tilray. I think Tilray. Uh, let's see. Take a look at TIL. I think that's it. Is that TILR? No, TILR. Mm, TRAY. I can't remember. Yeah, I don't think you're going to be very satisfied with Tilray. Unfortunately, it's just not doing well in this market. I was just at Lowe's and they had a no shoppers. That's interesting. Okay. Well, that shows you, that you're absolutely right. I mean, I think that, that's just inflation. And even though I think that, we may have bottomed, I think that, the market for retail is not looking good. The areas of the market that are going to do well though are going to be fuel because even though they have no shoppers at Lowe's, and that's very interesting saying that, even though they have no shoppers at Lowe's, people are still driving their cars. And that is making it so that I think that um, the companies that are providing gas and diesel should continue to do well because people will be buying that and not stuff at Lowe's. So let's see if we can. There we go. All right. Let's go Tesla to 300. I hope you're right, but I don't think that's likely to happen right now. Exxon was so last week. Um, why didn't you buy that? Well, you typically buy on strength, and I see increasing strength, of course, in Exxon. So I don't necessarily buy at the bottom. I try to buy on the trend, and as it's trending up, that's usually what I'm trying to buy. So, all right, let's talk to Mr. G. AMD misses Q3 sales margins by $1 billion. Ouch. Whew. Let's look at AMD and see kind of what the damage is. This is one of the reasons why it's just I think it's tough to be in anything in the Nasdaq. It's just right now it's just not giving us a whole lot of it's not showing us a whole lot of love in the Nasdaq. But yeah, I'm going to come over here and take a look at the daily chart and see. All right, let's take a look. And no, okay, so after hours, look at we were down. Well, we weren't down that much. Oh yeah, we are after. Yeah, after hours we're off a lot. We're off almost 4%. Yeah, I see. Yeah, yeah, I'm afraid it's gonna probably bounce, and it's gonna probably bounce downward. This might be a good short, actually. Let's see if we can short this one. Again, I'm not in the shorting mode, because I do think that at least in the near term, we're likely to see a bounce, but, um, I wanna see where the potential short yeah, okay, I think it's likely if it moves below 50 if it moves below 59, I think there's a good chance that this could be a good short, but right now, not so much. So just interesting that showing that. All right, Charles is talking about Hess. Okay, Exxon Mobil, BP. Yeah, these are all pretty good, at least for right now. Let's look at Devon, DVN. It's another stock that I like a lot. DVN. Let's take a look at it. Yeah, Devon Energy. Let's go back to the daily chart. Pull it over there. Yeah, and that's showing strength. No surprise with the price of crude. Let's see if we can draw a trend line. Yeah, well, we're still okay. So the reversal line, that's your reversal line. We're right at the reversal line. This is interesting. Here's what I would say on this line. This is essentially the reversal line, I think, and I think if we have one more day of strength, this is a buy, probably. But again, I think there's likely to be a pullback tomorrow, but that's just because it's up one, two, three, four. Yeah, it's up 4 days in a row. Typically, 5 days in a row would be incredible, but it's got a 100% checklist. So I agree with you. I think DVN is looking very, very good. On the technicals, we are a little bit extended because we're at 10% above that 21-day line. So I'd be a little bit I'd be a little bit worried about here. I'd wait for the pullback, but I think if it pulls back, basically to closer to the 21 or even the 10-day line. Let's see how close to the 10-day line is. I think they could that would be a buying signal. Now we're 15% above the 10-day line, so probably too far. But this, if it moves above this reversal line here, I think you might have a winner. I think you might have a winner chicken dinner. All right, Jay's interested in Lulu. This is one I tried to short unsuccessfully, I might add. I've never been able to figure this one out. I've always thought, how could this company do so well with yoga pants? I mean, I did very well shorting Peloton, but I guess this isn't really in the same league. This is up today. It's just amazing. I mean, even though the volume is going down, people are buying this. I don't understand this. I don't understand why they're buying this one. I just don't understand it. And if I don't understand it, it's better for me not to be not to be in it because I've tried this one. I've tried to short it. You can see short. I shorted 15 shares there, and it went up the next day. So I thought, oh well, it's definitely look at that. There's the waterfall. I shorted it. Boom. I was out. I was out. As you can see, I still think this one is going to collapse, but I don't. One thing I have learned is that if you short it, it doesn't work. Move on because you obviously don't know what you're talking about, and that's the case with Lululemon and me. So I can't say I know what I'm talking about with Lululemon. Any pipeline stocks? Well, gosh, the let me see. Let me look at EP. That's one of the big ones. Oh, that's Empire Petroleum. What is it? I'm trying to think of that. What it is? It's not EP. Um, it's Enterprise Partners. I can't remember this symbol. That probably would be your best bet um, for a pipeline stock. All right, let's see if we can get some more questions from a TikTok. Thanks for holding here. All right. Bought calls on Exxon Mobil, Oxy, and EQT last Thursday. You're doing great, man. John, is it John? Yeah, Johnny. Hey, Johnny Ball, you're doing great. Excellent. Let's look at EQT. You made a great call. You've got more balls than I do. That's all I can say. But I think you're going to win. I think you're going to win on those calls, Johnny. I think you're going to win. That looks like a pretty good thing. I wish I had been with you there. I was a little bit hesitant. EQT. Let's look at this one. This is the Colombian oil company, and it's reversing. So this one may be a potential here as well. Let's take a look at the chart. Um, and basically, what's going on here with this one is that we came down, below 40, and we've got a nice bounce. But here's the thing: we just saw some resistance right at the 50-day moving average. So this one, I don't know. I do think it was likely to go higher, but boy, I don't like this chart as much as I like some of the other charts out there. So I think that this probably is not the best one to go with. Let me just take a look at. What I'm doing here is I'm just kind of comparing the charts. I want to compare EQT against Hess because I think Hess is the better of the two. But that's my opinion. No, I'm wrong. I would have said that, but I'm wrong on that. Now let's go show you the where that is. So let's go here, and this is the comparison between EQT and Hess. Um, there we go, and you can see EQT is definitely outperformed, no question about it. Let's go back last quarter and see how that's doing there. Um, and take a look there. Okay, well, Hess is starting to move up. AQT is going to move down. So this is kind of what I would look at here. Out of these two, I think you're better off with Hess. I think it's a stronger stock, at least for right now. So that's kind of my take on it. All right, well, we're almost at the end of the show. I thank you so much, everybody. Let's see if we get another question from TikTok here, real quick. All right, so TikTok, thank you for joining. BORR. Oh, let's look at Coinbase. Let's look at Coinbase here and see if there's anything, if there's any hope for Coinbase. I think I heard that Coinbase was restricting was restricting withdrawals, and that, of course, is if you're in the financial services area and are a bank or semi-bank, that is the kiss of death. And you got to be super careful when that happens, because when that starts to happen, when people can't withdraw their money, that's when the regulators come calling. So this is the chart for Coinbase, and here we go. Flip it over here um, on TikTok. Here's the case. I mean, it's just been flat as a board, kinda like my first girlfriend. Oh, I'm just kidding. 73, 7 okay, so basically, here we go. We're below the 200-day moving average, and it just looks, not that good. I don't think I would be in this one. This is going all the way basically from, a high of about 368 all the way down to 73. So this has lost almost 80% of its value. So I'd be very, very careful with Coinbase. Okay, well, thank you, everybody. By the way, just wanted to remind everyone, as I always do, if you are not already a member of the Axe Trade Alerts, just go to www.dallas Trading Floor. Also, if you could please like the show, it really helps us out. And like and subscribe definitely helps us out with that. We definitely like to see it when you like the show. So please like the show, and we will be back, of course, tomorrow at. We'll be back tomorrow at 5 as well. But there we go. If you could just like that show, also you can go to www.dallas Trading Floor. But please like us, and that helps us tremendously with that. So please like the show, and also if you're not already a member of the Dallas Trading Floor, just go to www.dallas Trading Floor. So until tomorrow, happy trading.